and welcome to Gallery Lights. Today I'm looking at a colony that I had inside a good part of the winter. I bring them out periodically, let them get a little breath of fresh air. Today they've been out for maybe 2 to 3 days already. We've had a little warm spell. We've had it below the 30s during the day for a couple days, and now it's been up to almost today. It's like 61, so it's been pretty warm. I've been keeping this light. It's a UV light on the top. The idea is to just keep a little bit more of the heat there because it is such a small colony. I've been feeding them some sugar water and some homemade fondant. This last batch of sugar water dripped right through the colony, and it landed all on the bottom here. And when it did, it made a lot of sticky stuff down here, and we had quite a few stuck-up bees that got killed in the whole process. So today I want to open up this hive and see two things. Do they have some eggs? Are they expanding, or are they just dying? And I also want to clean up the mess. So let's give it a check, see what we find. Got a couple bees on the top cover. Got a little bit of a hole in the fondant. Frame number one has got some started drawn comb and some honey. It's possible they've been emptying some of the cells, I'm not sure. And I do see quite a few of these hive beetles. Maybe we can get rid of some of them, knock them down. Looks like they're storing some of the sugar water. And there's some of the honey. I don't know. Are they capping it or are they just storing it? I'm not sure. There's our queen. Got the purple dot. Let's see if we see any eggs down in here. Is she laying? Now remember this queen. Yep, there's a cell, little larva. Remember this queen was in a torpor at one time, and most of all her brood passed away. If you don't know what a torpor is, it means they're almost frozen. So I gave them another group of bees from another colony to raise, and it looks like she might be laying one cell in there. There's a couple eggs on the side of a cell, so it's possibly we have a laying worker, but we've got eggs all piled in there. That don't look good. Eggs everywhere. Sideways. Looks like there might be 7 in one cell. That's not good. And this white stuff is my kitten formula that I've been putting in there as a form of protein to see if that helps them out. And it looks like they got a little more stores. So I do not see a whole bunch of brood being raised. So right now, I think they're still dying out. So let's take this colony off the top here and get to the bottom board. And you can see this is how they get stuck to the bottom. They're dying off. It's like their last moments, I guess. They're just kind of hanging out. Some more hive beetles hiding over in here. See that they enjoy these dead bodies. There's just a bunch of bees that are barely moving. So let's dump all these half-dying bees out. Let nature take care of the rest of it. And I got an open hole in the bottom here, so we get some in the bottom here too. We'll just clean off the rest of this. That way, when it gets colder again, we bring them inside, they'll have a clean slate. Yeah, see, there's the hive beetles. Nothing like having hive beetles inside your house. Missed that one. All right, let's bring the colony back. Give them their fondant. Hey, they move away pretty easily. Look at that. And now they can have their fondant back. Get rid of these dead bodies. We'll give them their lid back. Dead one here. The hive beetle. And we'll give them the light back on top there. And this just keeps the light out of the rain, because we're supposed to be getting some rain tonight. That should take care of it for now. We'll see how this, I call it the torpor queen, because she was in a torpor. That's about all that's left from the original colony that got froze out during the winter. They were just a small cluster, and we tried all kinds of methods to keep them alive. And this seems to be sustaining things, but I don't even know if the queen's any good. She may be a dud now if all those eggs are from her. So this is the box that the bees have died. And right now we have a bunch of robbing. See how they fly away real quick? It's not their house. So they're just emptying all these frames for me. There's no sense in letting it go to waste. You can see how this one's doing. It's been fed the homemade fondant. As you can see, they pretty much ate all the fondant. This is basically sugar water, like a 5-to-1 ratio with a little bit of vinegar. Now, I had a question. Are these bees actually storing this stuff? So this last batch, I gave them some of this red number 40. This is supposed to be the stuff that causes us cancer. And the idea is to see if they are storing this in their cells. But before I do that, I think what I want to do is find out whether this queen is laying eggs, just because it's so nice out here today. Supposed to check the bottom of here to see if there's actually a queen laying on the bottom. That was not a good idea. Now I'm getting stung in the leg. That hurts. Thank you. In the elbow. Thanks a lot. Thanks for your contributions. The sugar's wet. You're not happy. Let me know. We'll get this frame out of here. Maybe make some room. This one's pretty much empty. Maybe we'll leave that one out. Looks like there's a little bit of syrup they're sticking in the holes. Ah, come on, guys. Are you serious? There's a lot of sugar water there. I don't know if you can see all that. It's like glistening. Same on that side. That one's a little packed with sugar water. I don't know if that's from the fondant, or if that's, come on, don't do it. Or if that's from when I was feeding them sugar water in the fall. It almost looks like it's ready to cap it, right? What's this? I have no idea. Oh, that might be one of my pieces of wax. Looks like they don't like you being shook up, so I'll try and open this a little slower this time. They don't fly out and dive trying to sting me. Oh, we do have some brood. So that's the question I have answered. Are they making babies? Yes, they are. I don't know if you can see that. Right in here, that's brood. And the same on that side. And there is the queen. So they are actually growing. That's cool. We'll put them back together. We'll even let them have this empty frame. Since they're doing fine, we won't change anything. Now, I do have a bunch of bees trapped in this fondant bag. They're all trying to get the sugar out of there. Now they can have this red stuff. See if they put that in their cells, if they're storing it or not. I'll have to check back later. Give a feeder shim so they have space for all this mess. And put the cover back on. Maybe. Now this colony is a queen from Pennsylvania, Swarmstead Bees. Gave me one of his swarm queens. Let's see if this colony is acting any different than the others. One thing I was trying with this colony is I've given them a bunch of frames from other dead outs that have a little bit of sugar, so if they want to steal it, they can. You can see here's a dead out. They all passed away. We'll knock out some of that brood. There you go. You can see how they store all the cells, or all the bees are down in there to try and last ditch effort to try and keep everything nice and warm. And you can see these are all robbed out. And I've been giving fondant and dry sugar. You can see a little bit of the dry sugar here has been eaten away. The fondant, that's one of the bags, that's gone. And it looks like this second bag is gone. So they've chewed out 2 bags pretty much. Well, there's a little bit left in there, I guess. If they find out how to get in there. Buried in there, they can get it. Ugh. This might be the fondant too. I don't know. No, it might have. I might have just dumped it out on the ground there. So that's the fondant. You can see they're tunneling through it. So that's the second bag they're working on. Let's see how they're doing underneath this lid here. And I have their upper vent closed up so they don't get robbed from other bees. Looks like there's nothing on this side here. These might be just empty frames. Yep, they're just empty frames. Just taking up space. That way, if they ever needed the space, they could fill it. They don't have to maintain it. There's nothing the hive beetles will infest. Looks like that's some of the stores they can steal. I must have given them. Remember, this is a queen from Pennsylvania with a split that I made from my bees. So over time, she repopulates it with her genetics. And the original bees that I put in here are all gone. Now, if you see all that white stuff, I don't know if that's sugar in those cells or if that's waste from like the hive beetles. There's like granular stuff in all the cells. I don't know what that is. Probably sugar, because it's right toward the center. Right in this would be the hole. Looks like they're trying to replace the queen. I see a swarm cell right here. Does it have anything in it? No, it's empty. We'll take that out of there just so we can see if they do it again. There's some of their sugar right there. Ah, she got quite a bit of brood there in the center. See that big cluster? That's incredible. And there she is. I made a mistake with her and got her a little bit too much orange. But apparently, it's not stopping her one bit. She's got brood everywhere on there. That's incredible. That's no insulation on the outside, no upper vent. There's a second set of brood. Wow. So I guess the size of the colony is what's the kicker as to whether your bees survive. The smaller colonies, I still haven't figured out how to keep them going. 1 and 2 framers is what I have a problem with. Look, there's even brood right there in the center. 1 or 2 frames of brood. That's incredible. But we have had quite a mild winter, so it's possible that that's why I'm seeing such a amount of brood that I am. 'Cause last year I lost quite a few. I only had like 6 coming out of winter. This winter, right now, I'm down to about 15, so we'll see. I'm just going to stick these back in here, and so that if they go gun buster, at least they have something to hang all that stuff on. Like I said, there's nothing on here, so hopefully they don't have to maintain it against hive beetles and wax moths. Well, let's put the lid back on. Let them continue their building process. I lost my entrance reducer. They've got all kinds of stuff they can steal. All the stuff they can possibly want right inside their own colony box. I don't know. It looks like the bees are doing good with this fondant. Years ago, I used to do just a uh, mountain camp method, which is dumping a bunch of dry sugar on the top, and the bees wouldn't eat it. This year, I've tried something with this fondant, and they're going gung-ho with it. And they're stinging me up a storm. That hurts, buddy. I'm gonna have to get smoke out with you guys. Yeah, I can see that. Hold on. Nothing cell frame. You can see how they've eaten the fondant right out of the center there. That's only been in there for like two days. Filled all that in with sugar water. There's your queen. Do you see her? Nice green dot. Look at all that sugar water. The whole thing's glistening. I don't see any babies on here. This one's heavier. Oh, I think I see some babies right there. 3. 3 cells. Oh, and there's a bunch of eggs right next to it. So they are laying in the middle of winter. Good gods. Hopefully they will start expanding instead of shrinking. Lots of sugar water. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it looks like the fondant melted out. So they're not eating as fast as I thought it was. It's actually going to the bottom. Interesting. So that must be getting wet, getting really soft. Hi, beetle. So that's a 2-inch insulated hive, foil tape to hold it together. And this is galvalume sheet vinyl wrapped around the aluminum, around the insulation, just to keep the bees out of it. But they do, if they go inside these underneath here, they start chewing out this foam from underneath. And inside of here is just a feeder shim. And this is a insulated 2-inch foam top, and insulated with 2-inch foam. So they have no upper vent. And that's how they're doing. Let's see how this one next to it is doing. They've been insulated also. And they've got another deep box on top here just for space, I believe. So these have frames that they can steal and rob out. They might have done a little bit of robbing there. Take that box off. It looks like they've got the original fondant package. You can see they're up into it. They haven't cleaned it out completely. They've got this reducer, trying to reduce their space. What I found out is I've got to have a frame with nothing on it next to that reducer, because otherwise wax moths and stuff get on here because it's unprotected. I gave them one that had stuff on one side, so if they wanted to take it from there, they can get to it. And I left the rest of this empty so they have a bunch of space to maintain. Here's a little bit of food I gave them. Get this fondant out of the way. See how these bees are doing. Look, they got a bit of storing that they're starting to do here. Got a mess of hive beetles in the center there. Big empty spot in the center. Oh, they do have a little bit of brood right there in the center here. Pretty cool. They're not going downhill. There's your queen. I don't know if you can see her right there. And they've got a hole right through the center here. I don't know if you see that. They can go from one side to the other. Lots of sugar. Getting their fondant back. Put this box back on that has all the extra resources. All right, so this is another colony that has no insulation on it, only on the, well, actually the lid doesn't even have insulation. So there's no insulation whatsoever. Let's see if that makes any difference. So this is just a wood top, no insulation. They've got a feeder shim. I'm just using that to clog up the hole. We got another feeder shim. You can see that they're eating the fondant a little bit. I got some paper on here just to act as an inner cover. And that's so this mountain camp sugar can be held up here. I think I'm going to take that off there. This fondant's been working so well that I've been just taking the sugar off. I'm going to make fondant out of it. Because this sugar is a pain. When you got to move things around and inspect, it's always falling down in on everything. So I think I'm going to just switch over to this fondant method. Let me get this in the bucket. It does, as you can see, it clogs together. It gets some of the moisture out of the hive, maybe. We're going to take it off and see if they do any better without it. There are all those dead bees. So let's see how this colony is doing that has no insulation on it. You can see the honey has been frosted over with some like mold, which is from the moisture. There's another moldy frame. Here's another one that's got all moldy. Look like they're touching it. I think I'm gonna leave some of these out. This is some sugar they're storing. Maybe we'll just leave those two frames. Let's see what they got going on in here. More sugar water. Got some brood going. That's pretty cool. That's impressive. Looks like they're going places. That's no insulation on the lid or the sides. And no upper venting. So I think they're moving in a forward direction. I think I'm just going to take out some of the stuff that they don't really get their hands on. There's a lot of pollen if they wanted it. I don't know if they're eating that or not. We'll leave that in there. And here's some that they were starting to store a little wet stuff in the center. And it's packed. So they got lots of food. Move that off to the one side. Give them back their fondant. They can keep storing it away, I guess. Get these out of the way. Put on their feeder shim. I think I'm just going to put a lid on top of here. Well, I don't know if I see a real big difference between the insulated, the non-insulated. I think they're pretty much doing the same thing. I don't know what your thoughts are, but maybe different temperatures might make a bigger difference. But with the mild weather we have today, I don't see much difference. Let's take a little look at this one over here. This one has 2-inch insulation on the top lid only. See if they're doing any different. This one I have the sugar. You can see I don't think they've eaten anything really, because I left a hole in the center. Fondant looks like they made a hack on this. This is only a couple days old. This one was pretty well cleaned out. That's why I had to put on another one. I got a reducer. Reduce the size of the colony. That way I didn't have to maintain as big of an area. So there shouldn't be anything on this side, and this side there is. That way that we don't get wax mold and stuff hanging on the outside frames. Let's move these over. Looks like the original stores of honey. Looks like they're adding a little bit to the bottom there. More storing of stuff. Looks like when I put the fondant on here, I got a couple bees stuck in the fondant and killed them off. That's not cool. Let it fall down the bottom. And they can clean off their dead bodies. There you go. I don't see any. Oh, I do see brood right in the center here, and that's the queen. Looks like they got some brood going on. That's pretty cool. And they got on the other side too. That's pretty awesome. So they're actually expanding. So that's just with an upper insulated lid, nothing on the sides. Do they have a third one? Looks like they're getting ready for it if they haven't already. And they got some pollen on the back there. And this is just an empty frame. So they're doing all right. I think the fondant is keeping them going. Gives them something to do. I don't even think I'm gonna bother with this. I just realized I'm leaving space for the bad guys getting in from other colonies. I need to plug that up. So I guess they do have an upper vent. I lied. Well, now it's a reduced upper vent. Does that stay in there? There it goes. Yeah, it works. Oh, it was blocked. Honest. All right, here's one that usually gets me. They're a little bit more feisty. When you open them up, we'll see if they're still that way or not. They've got the frames to rob from also. Let's see if they have anything left up here. I don't even know if they're robbing it, but they're walking around it. Looks like they're storing it in there. That's the wrong thing to be doing, buddy. You're supposed to be stealing, not storing. Let's take this whole box off. And they've got the fondant. This is the old one that they pretty much cleaned up, and the new one they have started. And they've got the sugar for the mountain camp. And this got pushed in. That used to be a blockage. A little stick there to try and, because they were sneaking in there. Let's see how bad these guys are. Looks like they're all off to the one side. We'll start on this side then. Maybe they'll leave me alone. Let's see what's over here. Looks like a little bit of stored stuff. Got a little bit of the mold. More storage. Looks like they're storing everything. Everywhere and anything they can store, they're storing. But they're not getting bigger. Oh man, this is stuck together too. Looks like they got a hollow spot in the center there. So they're ready to do some brood if they wanted it. Do they have it on the other side? Nope. That's weird. So it's just this one side they have hollowed out ready for the brood. But not on the other side. Maybe they changed their mind and moved over a frame. Man, these things are in there. There's some of the pink fondant. Maybe the queen's dead. Ah, we got a big wad of fondant on the bottom, so the fondant fell through. See any brood in there? Oh, we got some brood. All right. So we're not going downhill. All right, let's try this method. seems to work. Yeah, they're definitely expanding. That's good. It looks like they stuck my my reducer to the side there. I'm just going to take that out. Looks like they're stealing stuff. Maybe they're robbers. You know what else I see on the bottom here? I see a bunch of dead bodies. Let's clean this out since we're at all this. Let's clean up some of this mess. Less work for them. That's all the mountain camp sugar on the bottom. Look at that. It all went to the right to the floor. All that sugar wasted. If I can get that out. Yeah. There's where all my mountain camp sugar went. What a waste. A lot of dead bees. I'll just put this right in the center. Go. Give them their sugar mess back. Some of the sugar that fell on the ground. What a mess. Food everywhere. I don't know if they'll ever use this. We'll put some of this wet sugar back in here. Don't know if they'll use it. There we go. Oh, I see a couple sneaking out of here. Or are they not? No, it's clogged up. All right, I think we're good. Well, that's just a couple of the colonies and how they look on this wonderful 61-degree day. Hopefully, the rest of them are doing just as well. And maybe we'll have 15 coming out of winter. We shall see. Keep watching.